Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. And as Apostle Gabar would say, Quam Bacharyim. All right, this is Brother Tazapai here with you again with another lesson. And for this lesson, I would like to read from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, also known as the book of Sirach. And I just want to read a few verses because I have some interesting news that I just came across. It's breaking news to me, but maybe you have heard of it, all right, concerning the stock exchange, all right? And so we're going to get right down to it. Things as we know it are about to be completely uprooted and changed, set on edge, all right, turned upside down. So we'll kick this off. The book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. All right, and so this is just common wisdom, and this, of course, is also known as the book of the wisdom. I don't know if it says that. No. The wisdom of, I believe, Jesus, all right, which is not talking about the Messiah. But this is also a book of wisdom. All right, so a lot of this is just wisdom. I'm going to just give a brief commentary, all right, to fit with the prophecies in the time that we're in. So it says again, Sirach 10 and 1, a wise judge will instruct his people. And right now we see the people of Babylon are not being instructed. All right, if you watch the Thursday live that we did this past Thursday, the brother Karabar played a video where Trump was saying, and I just watched it again today, another video where somebody else played the same clip. Trump saying, I don't care about the people. I'm not worried. I'm not thinking about the economy. My concern is, or Iran having a nuclear weapon. That's his concern. So the people here are not being instructed. The house of David, however, is. All right, so all of you Hebrew Israelites, forget you heathens. Y'all have no part in this. You Hebrew Israelites who you turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. All right, he's going to do the same to you. All right, and you see you're under a madman right now. You see, that's a curse because Babylon right now is cursed. And all of y'all who cling to it, you're going to fall with it. Verse 2 says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right. So I just mentioned Trump. I didn't have this scripture in mind, but I just said Trump is a madman, right? And look at the people. Come on, man. The people, all you got to do is look at social media. And you'll see the lunacy, the psychosis, all right, the neurosis that people have in the world. That was prophesied. That ain't right. Yep, so here in Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And when you go into that cold and waxing cold, because it speaks to, and it would do good to just go in. I know brothers have gone in, but to do a deep dive on this. All right, so you see shall wax cold right here. Mid-screen, G5594. All right, so that phrase, shall wax cold. is psycho. This is why people suffer from psychosis today. See, and this is the thing about sin. And it said because iniquity shall abound. People would go psycho. That's the nature of sin. It's non-sustaining in no form. Mentally, psychologically, damn sure not spiritually, and physically, it breaks your body down. Sin breaks your body down. This is why we die. We die because Adam sinned. He wasn't supposed to die. So I just want to show you the word.
Strong's G 5594. Psucho.
Suko.
Psucho.
We say psycho, but it's in the Greek it's pronounced suko. All right? But look, it say made, well, to breathe, blow, cool by blowing. To be made or grow cool or cold. And then the metaphor is of waning love, okay? But yeah, the love of people have grown cold, and the people are bugged out. It's just like you see the MGTOW and the red pill and all of this going on. That's from sin. Now women, because they're so loose today, they cannot mate with the opposite sex. They have become whores through their iniquity. Their iniquity has made them whores from gadding abroad, trying different cocks like it's the dressing room at Macy's. And they trying on different dresses. They try on different cocks. And then they think they can walk away from that. No. Now you're a whore. Your psychology, your biology has changed. And even the biology of your mind changes. All right? And so, right, these women, they're trash, garbage. But back to the point that because people are not ordered, right, iniquity has abound, and now the love is sukos. People who suffer from psychosis or psychosis. Yep, I think that's psychosis. All right. And again, back in the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right. So, right, you're governed by psychotic, perverted, demonic devils. Just real atrocious people. That's who you're governed by. And that's who you have become. You people who have not left the ways of America. Y'all still out here waiting for the midterm, talking about we need to get out and vote. Yeah, you're suffering psychosis. Still out here talking about, yeah, this inflation, boy. I can't wait till things get back to normal. Psychos. All right? In verse 3 says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited, and the city of, again, I say the house of David, that city, the city of David, is being kept through prudence. All right? and it shall be inhabited. Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, and that is his only begotten Son. And it is he who orders the house of David through his prudence and his righteousness. All right? And we are well ordered and maintained. As King David himself said in 23rd Psalm, the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. All right? And he was talking about in these times because he was king, and it applied then. It definitely applied then, but how much more so did it apply now? Because King David knew he would be here in the last days, and indeed he was. All right? So I say, without shadow of a doubt, the Lord is my shepherd, and I do not want. Because I'm living it. All right? And what tomorrow may bring, the Lord told me don't worry about tomorrow. I know I'm good today. And that's because of the good shepherd. Let me scroll up a little bit. Yeah. Verse 5. In the hand of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, is prosperity. I'm sorry. In the hand of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, is the prosperity of man. All right, and I was just saying that. Yeah, when you make the Lord your shepherd, your way will be prosperous. That's what a shepherd does for his sheep. He makes his sheep's way prosperous. He wants them to be big and healthy, happy and strong. He don't want them to be scraggly and weak. See, that's what the hireling wants, because he's going to eat your food. He's going to take from you and leave you wide open. But you see, Sirach 10 and 5, in the hand of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, is the prosperity of man. And upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices. Pride is hateful before Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and man, and by both, all right, and by both doth one commit iniquity. And here's the point. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And this is where we find ourselves right now at that point. Okay? As it says, because of unrighteous dealings. And that's Esau all day, every day. Since he took over America. He took it over by unrighteous dealings. He's broken every treaty he established with the natives here. And continue, to lie and steal and cheat. Okay? But because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, he's injuring us right now. And that's physically and, physically and spiritually injuring us. And riches got by deceit. All right, and this is major. He did it the first time. He set up Rome. He established Rome through his decadence and over-lavish lifestyles and living, overreach of his expansion, wanting to expand his empire. He squandered money and then he ended up counterfeiting money. All right, back then they counterfeited coins. And it's ways they did that by minting over. In other words, they would coat maybe copper coins in gold. All right, maybe lead. You know, it'd be partially gold, but lead inside. And they do it today. And it's easier because we have paper money. All they have to do is print more money. Okay? And that's injury. The people are suffering injuries through his deceitful economic practices. And so we come to this point, the deceit and the lies, the scam has gone as far as the scam can go. All right. And I saw this video and I had to do something on it. All right. And this has been every kingdom. This has been every kingdom. That's why, you got to love Sirach 10:4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. And in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable. Because up until now, let's see. Yeah, the kingdom of the earth has just been, it's been in the hand of the heathen. And the heathen don't know how to righteously rule the kingdom of the earth. All right? And that was the lot of the children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and you Native Americans. That is our lot, to rule the kingdom of earth in righteousness. As the Lord's Prayer states, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's the kingdom, all right, of righteousness on earth. But, up until now, all we've had was these heathens ruling. Until the time, King David and Solomon, we had our rulership, but it wasn't global. But the Lord wanted to give us a little taste and show us how it could be, how it will be. Well, it's going to be that plus. All right? That, was just a teaser, the time of King Solomon. That was a teaser of what's coming. All right? What's coming is going to be so glorious. But right, the kingdom had to be translated from the Sumerians to the Babylonians to the Egyptians, and not in any particular order. I'm just rambling them off, to the Grecians and the Romans and, the Medo-Persians. So they all the heathens had a time to rule, but none of them knew what they were doing at the end of the day. It's because it wasn't their lot. All right. So the Heavenly Father getting ready to set up his only begotten Son. Check this out. And you can tell this is Jake. This is Jake all day. And it's saying that the stock exchange, all of Wall Street, getting ready to be blockchain. And it makes sense. All right? See, I get him to
The 233-year-old monopoly that is Wall Street decided to...
Nah, you don't want to shut
The 233-year-old monopoly that is Wall Street decided to ditch the old system and completely change monetary systems around its birthday, around the day that it was created. I don't think that's a coincidence. 234 years ago today, 24 men under the Buttonwood tree signed an agreement that birthed Wall Street, and this evidence will overwhelm you, okay? On May 17th, 1798, 24 stockbrokers at 68 Wall Street signed a 2-sentence cartel agreement. That cartel ran the world's money for 234 years. Today is May 17, 2026. I'm about to show you how they dismantled Wall Street in 30 days flat. Let's first start with the payment rails. That's the DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. They're basically the clearinghouse that settles every stock trade in America. They custody $114 trillion in securities. On May 4th, the DTCC announced they're tokenizing it completely. 50 plus firms are onboarded. We're talking about BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Citibank, Charles Schwab. The actual rails that move every American stock trade are being switched to the blockchain. Not in 5 years. We're talking about in 5 months. Are you listening? Then 8 days after that, May 12th, the DTCC partnered with Chainlink to handle the tokenized collateral. Chainlink is a protocol, a crypto DeFi protocol, the most invisible, most regulated piece of
Fully charged battery, fully charged. Unplugged charger.
Official crypto infrastructure. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then on May 13th, JP Morgan went live on Ethereum, their second tokenized money market fund. They were seeded with $100 million, the same JP Morgan whose CEO Jamie Dimon called Bitcoin a fraud in 2017. May 8th, Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook stood at a central bank and gave an entire speech mapping how tokenization is going to reshape the entire financial system. The Federal Reserve, the institution that prints every dollar in your wallet, publicly planning around the new payment rails of the world. 5 days later, the Senate confirmed Kevin Warsh as the Fed chair. He personally owns stakes in Bitcoin payment companies, DeFi protocols, stablecoin companies. The man about to run American monetary policy makes more money the faster this happens. He's going to make sure it happens. May 14th, the next day, the Senate Banking Committee passes the Clarity Act 15 to 9, heading to the Senate floor, White House targeting a July 4th signing. That's $4 trillion from JP Morgan, $14 trillion from BlackRock, State Street, that's another $30 trillion in custody. The DTCC is $114 trillion in clearing, plus 20 more banks queuing at Anchorage waiting to issue stablecoins. That's $162 trillion of traditional finance, almost twice the entire global world GDP. They're leaving the signs right in front of your face. Do you understand? You need to research, please. Figure out how to take advantage of this. And if you guys want more information, obviously I have a lot of sources and news and stuff.
All right, and apologies for the interruption. I don't know why the phone does that, but hey, yeah, the fact check is the prophecies. Everything he just said is what we've been prophesying here at Great Millstone, and you still have guys telling you that the mark of the beast is sin in all its various forms, or, Christianity or whatever, but it's just like he said, it's in your face. What are you doing? And just because this is so important, and that due to that interruption, I'm gonna play it one more time. All right. And yeah, as he said, research these things. All right, I'm going to play it again.
Follow me for more. The 233-year-old monopoly that is Wall Street decided to ditch the old system and completely change monetary systems around its birthday, around the day that it was created. I don't think that's a coincidence. 234 years ago today, 24 men under the Buttonwood tree signed an agreement that birthed Wall Street, and this evidence will overwhelm you, okay? On May 17th, 1792, 24 stockbrokers at 68 Wall Street signed a 2-sentence cartel agreement. That cartel ran the world's money for 234 years. Today is May 17, 2026. I'm about to show you how they dismantled Wall Street in 30 days flat. Let's first start with the payment rails. That's the DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. They're basically the clearinghouse that settles every stock trade in America. They custody $114 trillion in securities. On May 4th, the DTCC announced they're tokenizing it completely. 50 plus firms are onboarded. We're talking about BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Citibank, Charles Schwab. The actual rails that move every American stock trade are being switched to the blockchain. Not in 5 years. We're talking about in 5 months. Are you listening? Then 8 days after that, May 12th, the DTCC partnered with Chainlink to handle the tokenized collateral. Chainlink is a protocol, A crypto DeFi protocol, the most invisible, most regulated piece of Wall Street's plumbing, just got publicly married to crypto, official crypto infrastructure. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then on May 13th, JP Morgan went live on Ethereum, their second tokenized money market fund. They were seeded with $100 million, the same JP Morgan whose CEO Jamie Dimon called Bitcoin a fraud in 2017. May 8th, Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook stood at a central bank and gave an entire speech mapping how tokenization is going to reshape the entire financial system. The Federal Reserve, the institution that prints every dollar in your wallet, publicly planning around the new payment rails of the world. 5 days later, the Senate confirmed Kevin Warsh as the Fed chair. He personally owns stakes in Bitcoin payment companies, DeFi protocols, stablecoin companies. The man about to run American monetary policy makes more money the faster this happens. He's going to make sure it happens. May 14th, the next day, the Senate Banking Committee passes the Clarity Act 15-9, heading to the Senate floor, White House targeting a July 4th signing. That's $4 trillion from JP Morgan, $14 trillion from BlackRock, State Street, that's another $30 trillion in custody. The DTCC is $114 trillion in clearing, plus 20 more banks queuing at Anchorage waiting to issue stablecoins. That's $162 trillion of traditional finance, almost twice the entire global world GDP. They're leaving the signs right in front of your face. Do you understand? You need to research, please. Figure out how to take advantage of this. And if you guys want more information, obviously I have a lot of sources and news and stuff. Follow me for more. The 230.
So there you have it, and I ain't even had time to chop this up yet. All that info he dropped, I heard what he was saying, and that's what we've been waiting for. That's the news we've been waiting for. So it ain't like he's lying. If it don't happen when he says it's gonna happen sometime, and it ain't gonna be way down the line. All right? And this lines up with everything that's been happening. This lines up with the Strait of Hormuz, this conflict with Iran, everything that puts everything in perspective. If you think about it, Wall Street is about to be tokenized. I prophesied that. All right, this is what we were trying to explain to Chief Ephraim. What do you mean, Chief? You're supposed to be the chief. How you gonna lead your people? You don't know what's going on. You don't know what time it is. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. What, you didn't think the stock market could be tokenized? It was created for that. It was created for that. They just didn't have the means back in 1792 of computation that they have now. All right, and all this quantum stuff has enabled them to fulfill this. Quantum computing and their AI, and has given them the ability to fulfill Revelation 13 and 16. So now they're putting everything into the blockchain. They're tokenizing everything, including Wall Street. The stock exchange, that's NASDAQ, Smith & Poor, Standard & Poor's, Salakia. NASDAQ, Standard & Poor, let's get the other big one. But yeah, they all going on blockchain. That's what blockchain was created for. Apostle Tahar broke that down, how the blockchain is going to be the mark of the beast. Or tied in, is going to run the mark of the beast. Now you see how. I hope. I hope you see how. And this is how he's going to cause all. So now you can see in the world globally, he said, not in 5 years, in 5 months. And that lines up with everything we've been saying. Well, that lines up with prophecy. which is what we've been saying. That lines up with prophecy. In 5 years, we approaching winter, right? We in October. We in the fall. So it's May now. In 5 months, we'll be in October going into November, and that's what? Midterms. You're gonna see a lot of things kick off this fall. And I was explaining that to the brother, Karabad, before we did the live stream Thursday. That, Trump probably going to play it as cool as possible to the mystery, or they get that redistricting set, or these midterms come, and he get past these midterms, and he's going to turn up. But yeah, everything is converging. However it's going to play out, I'm not telling you how it's going to play out, when it's going to play out. I'm telling you all of these things are here. It's just like you cut on the water hose that's under pressure, you don't know which way the thing going to go. It's kind of like this. The most time you cut the pressure on, you don't know which way this thing gonna swing. But we know, overall where it's going. Things are going to the microchip. Guys don't want to teach the truth still. They locked in this vibration. Esau's gift locked them in this vibration. It has destroyed their heart. All right, which is their mind. Their mind should be on the testimony of Yahushua, but instead it's locked in Babylon. You got heathens, don't even read the Bible, tell you, oh, that's a microchip. But verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 666. And this thing is approaching like a stampeding bull. All right? So hold on to your hats. About to be a hell of a ride. Shalom.